G'day guys, my name's Ben and welcome back to southernxtech. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Asus GL552 laptop, which I've featured in previous videos on upgrading it and installing some more RAM, and it's recently been replaced with the GL553, and you still can pick them up on Amazon for a reasonably good price. So we're going to be having a look at the value side of things, see if it is still a good value pickup at the cheaper price. So let's jump in and have a look. Okay, now the first thing you might notice is in different countries there is a different top panel that you can get. In Australia, the only one that I could access locally was the plastic top with this brushed faux metal finish on it. On Amazon you can currently buy the aluminium top. It's a lovely silver top with just the logo and the Asus branding on it. It looks much better. I would have loved to have got that one if I could, but none of my local suppliers actually stocked it. On the top here, you do have the light up ROG logo. Moving around to the left hand side, you've got the venting here for your GPU. This is where, when you're gaming, most of your venting will come through. Coming along here, you have a USB Type-C port. You also have a full-size USB 3.1 port. Sorry, that's a HDMI. That's your Ethernet, and then you have two USB 3 ports. Coming around to the front, you have your SD card reader, and you also have your indicator lights, so your power light, your charging lights, and your activity lights for your hard drive. Moving around to the right hand side, you do have a headphone microphone combo jack, another USB 3.0 port. You also have a CD-ROM drive. Not many laptops have these anymore. In the 18 months or so that I've now had this, I haven't even used it once. I'm not quite sure why they're still filling it up. They could have put an extra hard drive space in there. And at the back here, you've got a Kensington lock. Underneath the device, you do have easy access to your internals for upgradability. If you check out my earlier videos, I did do a couple of videos on upgrading the SSD in this. I put a 256 gig 850 EVO from Samsung in here to replace the 128. I also put an extra DIMM of RAM, so it's now running 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. You can buy them factory configured with 16 gig, but mine only came with 8 gigs, so it was the cheaper model at the time. When I say it was the cheaper model, I still paid around $1,800 Australian for mine. In Australia, our electronics are quite a bit dearer than the ones that you see on Amazon in the US. I don't know why. Even if you figure out the exchange rate, it should have only cost me around 1,300 Australian, but they obviously put a premium on electronics over here for some reason. Opening it up, you do have your 15.6 inch screen. You also have a fully red backlit keyboard and your touchpad here. Now, one thing I will make comment, the touchpad is absolute rubbish. I hate it. I can't stand it. I think it took me about a day or so, and I went and bought myself a mouse to plug into it because I couldn't stand using the touchpad anymore. I don't know what it is, just doesn't seem accurate. You move over something and you go to tap and it moves off that position. The typing experience on the keyboard isn't too bad. I wish they did have another colour for the keycaps instead of the red backlighting, because after a while when you're in a dark room the red does get a bit too much in your eyes. I wish you could change it to a blue or something like that, or even a white. A bit like the SteelSeries lighting on the MSIs. Now, up the top here, you do have your webcam. Works quite well for Skype calling and things like that. And the other thing is the weight. This isn't the most portable laptop that you can buy. It does have around I'd say it's about a 2 kilo weight limit. I'd have to check that, or maybe just under 2 kilos. But it is quite bulky and quite heavy. As you can see, it isn't the slimmest laptop on the market. This one is fitted with the i7-6700HQ processor, running at 2.6 GHz of RAM. It also has the GTX 960M graphics card, which for light gaming, video editing, it does quite well. Every single video that you see on this channel has been edited on this laptop. It does quite well for that. It does ramp up quite a bit, does get a little bit loudy when rendering out videos, but it doesn't seem to take too long. It makes quite light work of them. So moving on to the GL553. It has had a cosmetic upgrade. It does have a nice black top with some orange highlighting to it. It also had a spec bump on the processor up to a current generation Kaby Lake 7700 HQ, clocked at 2.8 GHz. So it has had a slight speed boost there on that one. Also, you can now get it with NVMe compatible M.2 drives, which mine is running on a SATA interface 850 EVO. The NVMe drives are really fast, so there is a quite a significant boost to the speed there when booting. Also, you can get it with a 1050 Ti, which the 1050 Ti is a leap ahead of the 960M. If you are doing it more so for gaming than casual, you will notice the benefit of going to the 1050 Ti model. As far as size and weight goes, they are spec'd nearly exactly the same as weight, and they also still did fit a CD-ROM drive to the current model. I'm not sure why they're doing that. It might be something that they think people benefit from. I'm not quite sure, but if that benefits you, good for you. But a lot of new machines out there, like the Stealth from MSI, you know, are making it nice and thin and light and portable. Laptops are supposed to be portable. I don't know why they want to make them big and heavy and bulky. I know you can fit more power in them, but there are companies out there that are proving these days with aluminium bodies that you can disperse heat really well without having to put the big heat sinks in them like some manufacturers. So as far as pricing goes, you can get a current model GL553 for around $1,400 US, so there is around a $400 price bump if you go for the newer model, but the benefits are you're getting that 1050 Ti, you're also getting a current model Kaby Lake. It's not a big difference speed-wise, you may notice a little bit, but the big advantage there is your NVMe M.2 drive. So if you're doing video editing, it will render out really quickly with that 1050 Ti power, and it's a fast boot time as well on that NVMe drive. So moving on to things that I didn't like so much about mine is the viewing angle of the screen. So if you tilt it up slightly back and forth and left to right, you can see the viewing angles are not great at all. For some reason, my machine is different to the one that I had on display in the shop. I went back and checked it after I bought it, and it did suffer slightly from the same issues of that contrasting glare to it, even though it is an IPS panel, but I don't know what it is. I haven't found anything online with other people having this problem. I don't know if it's something that people just don't acknowledge, but it annoys me. I've got to have the screen laid right back to counteract the viewing angle for this. Also, the other thing is that when you have the screen laid right back, you try and do a Skype call, all the person can see is the ceiling. I don't know what it is. I hope the new model has had a slight upgrade. I would have liked to see them go to maybe a Quad HD panel or even a touchscreen panel for those people that like to use it on the go, but as I said, it isn't really a portable laptop. So in conclusion to this, I would like to say, if you are on a budget and you're looking for a machine that games well, does video editing, for the $1,000 mark, you can't go wrong. But if you do have that little bit of extra money to spend, save it, go for the $1,400 option, get that graphics card upgrade, get the NVMe upgrade, and then you're also on the current generation CPU. It will benefit you in the long term for gaming, being that it's a newer generation, it is clocked much higher the 1050 Ti than the 960M. It will benefit you quite a bit. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.